All right, well, let's discuss the MIAA hockey pairings, which will actually be coming out Saturday. We're recording this on Friday, so we won't know actually who anybody's playing, but we know who's in, and that's the important part.
That's right.
And we do have 3 local teams who are in, but 4 local schools, because the first one that we're going to talk about is Old Rochester Fairhaven, and they're a combined team.
That is correct. And Ray Lawton is a Fairhaven student who is a key forward for the Bulldogs. So he's a Blue Devil in spring playing tennis. He's a Bulldog in the winter playing hockey for OAA, as we call it. But yeah, Old Rochester, Ray Lawton, 2 schools, wearing the New Jersey Devil look-alike ORR Bulldog uniform, and playing for what is a pretty good team. Scott Hartley's second last game I saw versus Dartmouth, he rolled 3 lines. He played extra D. He wanted to get a good look at what the depth of his team should be like in a playoff sort of against a playoff kind of opponent. Dartmouth had already clinched as well. But it was a good game to see them play each other. Dartmouth won it, kind of a crazy game. Dartmouth went way up in the third period, broke a 1-1 tie, went ahead 5-1. Old Rochester comes storming back with like 3 goals inside of a minute and 9 seconds or something, and poor Ryan McCarthy's there wondering what's going on in the Dartmouth net. But Old Rochester, good hockey team. Gage Silver, huge player, more ways than one. Guy's a wrecking ball, but he needs to keep his feet moving every shift. That's the key for Gage. Gage is an outstanding young leader with a good hockey mind and plays. And what is the Old Rochester tradition is play them all everywhere. You know, somewhere in your career you're going to play everything but net for Old Rochester if you play hockey there. And Max Sherman has emerged as a threat. They got good character guys, the Copel brothers. They're good hockey team. Fun to watch.
So sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Mick, I know they're in the Division III tournament. I mean,
all 3 of our entry teams are.
Well, what do you think it's going to take for them to win a game, or where do you see them going in this tournament?
I think that the pairings mean so much, and I know that Old Rochester didn't play the Dartmouth game to win. They played it more as to look at over the depth of their club, and that may affect the seeding, and it may affect the matchup. Dartmouth gets the win. That improves its seeding. You get out of the area. I don't really know the teams out of the area except for particulars, like when Bishop Stang hosted its Spartan Cup season-ending playoff warm-up kind of a tournament. They brought down Scituate. Scituate's always a contender in Division III. If not champion of the section, they're usually right there. Well, they came down, and Stang gave them a heck of a game, had a third-period lead, coughed up the tying and winning goals late in the game. So that was a tough one for them. So it really depends on who you get. I think that all 3 teams are capable of winning at least a round. And if they win if it's a preliminary play-in because of the amount of teams, then that plus a first round. I think all 3 are capable of getting to the quarterfinals. Not saying all 3 would, but that depends on the matchups, I guess. So.
Well, you mentioned both Dartmouth and Bishop Stang, and they're the other 2 local teams that are in the tournament. And Dartmouth now, is this... We know that Dartmouth is so strong in a variety of sports. How are they in hockey?
Getting better to the point that they're no longer allowed to use the Westport cooperative, whatever you call it. The Chouinard, the younger of the Chouinard brothers, one graduated last year. There's a younger one now, who's a pretty good player, who is grandfathered in, and it will be allowed to finish. But no more Westport kids can go play hockey for Dartmouth High. So Dartmouth High's doing pretty well. They got an exciting young defenseman who's a sophomore named Sam Jenkins. And I got a kick out of watching this kid just as a freshman. He's very skilled at timing a ferocious body check. He really hits harder than kids think he's going to, and kids want to fight him and stuff when he makes body because he really rattles people. And he's not that big. He's kind of average sized kid, but he just has good skating ability, good instincts on the defensive side of the puck, knows how to time a hit. And talking to Garrett Allen, who'll be featured in my preview article along with Nick Colageo from Stang. Sam has matured and kind of building his all-around game and isn't as reactive on the ice, is now becoming more of an all-around player. And I just think he could be one of the more exciting prospects, potential players to come out of this area in years. We'll see what happens with him from what we've seen. Stang is led by Chris Andre up front. Derek Silvera is a fire plug and a very fast and go to the net kind of winger. Not a big kid, but you know what they say about the size of the dog in the fight. So Murphy Lester, nice goalie. We got 3 really good goalies in this tournament right now. Ryan McCarthy, I mentioned. Murphy Lester, who's featured in the video I just did with the Stang kids at Hetland yesterday, and Tim Kelleher from Old Rochester. He made a couple of glove saves I couldn't believe. He's not a big kid. I think he's only a freshman, but Kelleher flashes the glove. This kid could develop into a really good, really exciting goalie because he's already got those raw instincts. Let's see. I want to mention too from the Dartmouth side. This is the last crack at it for Dylan Santos and Josh Sullivan, 2 guys who have really been sort of like blue-collar kind of wingers. Everything for them happens right around the net. If Dartmouth's going to go places, those guys need to fight through the traffic and get their stick on pucks, deflect them, rebounds, swatting, bother the goalie, that sort of stuff, while Garrett Allen is making the plays for them. But that's a good team, and we've also got some young talent. Joey Gomes, this freshman for Dartmouth, has had 2 hat tricks this year. So, Dartmouth, the hockey talent is coming. So,
well, you mentioned before we started recording that all these teams are kind of even. Do you think that there's a chance, depending on how the rankings shake out, that we might see 2 local teams matched up in a game during the tournament?
It's possible, but I don't think that they're going to. I don't know if they just throw them in a hat or what. I hate it when that happens. It's kind of like traveling 40 miles with your buddy to go play a tennis tournament, and then they pair you up against each other because they want to find out about you, so they eliminate one of you, and it's like, that's not fair, So I hope it's nothing like that kind of. I hope they both have a chance to. I mean, the whole idea of the tournament is to play the out of area competition. I hope that that's the way this goes, and they both get to find out what they got when they go up against some South Shore teams and out of the area teams. That would be a good thing because. But we get. I think Stang is probably the class of the area.
Okay.
They seem to play tougher out of area schedule, and although Dartmouth does it to some extent, we got some good players, and I don't think we got a team that's going to the TD Garden or anything, but we're good. We got some good teams.
Mick, when the season started, when you did the season previews, are these the 3 teams that you kind of thought these teams are going to be in the tournament, or is somebody missing, or did any of these teams surprise you at all during the season?
I think I thought that Old Rochester was going to be a little better than Dartmouth, but they're at least 50-50. I mean, it's like they play. I don't know who's going to win. They're a little different from each other, but they're both good. So hard to say. I knew this was going to be, a good year for Stang because they've been working toward this for the 4 years since the Jeff Borges era ended. They had that great team in 2005, with Billy Rocha and Josh and Nusowitz and Borges and then Andrew Parent on defense and Jake Clark, and they were pretty awesome. And then Borges was still there. And Parent was still there, and they went back and did well again in the playoffs. Didn't go all the way to the Fleet Center again like they had in 2005, but then it was like rebuilding time. And, this is the culmination of that. The Andre Araujo, Ben Richard, there's a few, Derek Silvera, Murphy Lester. This Stang team is the product of the rebuild. So this is the best they've been since then. And so it's exciting to see them get back to a point where they can be relevant on the playoff scene.
All right, well, he is Mick Colageo. Look for him at the area rinks during the MIAA state tournament. And, again, Bishop Stang, Dartmouth, and ORR Fairhaven, those are the teams. And go out and support them.
Hockey Live, nothing like it.